Hi friend, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. I have been buying quite a lot of books in the past few weeks, and I know you probably don't want to see another book haul, but you know what? Book reading and book buying are two different hobbies, like a lot of you have said so many times every time I post anything about my book haul and my book buying addiction. I just want to say that most of the books that I'm going to be sharing today is going to be part of a book series. I read the first book and I love it, so I want to continue on reading the story. And there's also a couple books here that I heard about and people are really loving those books, and again, I feel left out that I don't have it, that I haven't read it, so I decided to buy them. The first couple books are part of the Housemaid series. I read the first book pretty recently, probably a couple months ago, and I've been avoiding The Housemaid because I am a scaredy cat. I don't really like reading anything that is super intense, but I did find the first book for $3 at a local library when I was in California, I think in the beginning of August, and it is also part of the Goodreads seasonal challenge, so I decided to be brave and read it. And it's actually not that bad, as in like it's not super scary. It is pretty intense and pretty thrilling in my opinion, but I was able to handle it. So if you're a scaredy cat like me, I think The Housemaid, it would be an okay read for you. I also read that book in one day, and I don't know, it was just such a great read that I am willing to go through two more books that are probably too scary for me. And I'm pretty sure these two books are about Millie, still the main character in the first book. She is the housemaid. And I want to say these are gonna be about her working with other families. So I cannot wait to see how that would look like and what kind of situations that Millie's gonna get into with these new families that she's gonna be working for. I know that there is a novella in between these two books. I currently don't have a physical copy. I know that they are available, I think, physically on Amazon, because when I went to Barnes & Noble, I don't see the book at all. But I know on Amazon you can actually get the physical paperback. So we'll see how I'm gonna read the novella. I might just get it from Amazon or maybe get it for my Kindle. But I think I might get it after I finish reading the second book. If you are an avid fan of the Housemaid series, let me know in the comment below where you got the novella from. So the next book that I got is Made by Elie Hazelwood. This is actually the second book that comes after Bright that came out, I'm pretty sure, last year. I just actually finished Bright not too long ago, maybe like a few days ago, and I love that book. It is actually my first vampire, werewolf, paranormal romance book that I've ever read. I know that we had a few saga back in the day that are super popular, aka Twilight and Vampire Diaries. I'm sure there are others that I don't know about, but Bright was my very first one. Because I love that book so much and people also talk highly about this book, I decided to get it. I don't really want to tell you about the second book because it's definitely going to spoil the first book for you, so I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm super excited to read this book. Hopefully I'll be able to read it maybe before the end of the year so I can finish another book series. There's definitely possibilities in my head for like a third book, but I'm not really sure if she has actually announced that there's going to be another book after this one, but I'm super excited to read this. So the next couple books are actually a new fantasy series, and I just feel like I was left out because so many people that I follow on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok have talked about this duology so highly that I feel like I need to get into this series. Let's just say I am super easily influenced whenever I see the same books over and over again being recommended online, so I got the duology. And I'm talking about the, what is the thing actually called? I think it's the Shepherd King, maybe, but it's basically One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. And again, I've heard so many people talk about this book, the first one, and how they love Rachel Gillick's writing, and Rachel Gillick's books are like their auto-buy, so I cannot wait to read at least the first book. Let's just read the back of the book because honestly I'm not even sure what the book is all about. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient, mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous man in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. I am kind of excited to just get into this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to it before the end of this year, but hopefully next year. But let me know in the comment below if you guys have read the first book or have read the duology, and let me know what your thoughts are. The next book that I got is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I feel like this past summer this book has been super popular, and again I felt left out that I don't have it and that I feel like I need to read it. Obviously summer is over, so I'm not going to read this book this year, but maybe I will save it for my next year summer TBR. But if you don't know, this book is about one of the Forek brothers, Charlie. If you read, what is it called, Meet Me at the Lake, is that what it's called? The first book it's called Every Summer After. All of the books are about this lake, I think, so I just don't remember. Every Summer After is the first book. It's technically not a series, but I think if you want to read this book, you should definitely read Every Summer After first, because Charlie, even though he's not the main character in Every Summer After, but his backstory was written throughout that book. So I feel like for you to understand how he is or who he is in this book, you probably need to read the first book, because I have read books that is part of a huge universe and I kind of like start reading the middle book or something, and I feel like I'm missing part of the main character's backstory. So I think if you want to read this book, read the first one first so you don't get confused. This book is about Alice and Charlie, obviously. Alice spent just one summer at the cottage with her grandma when she was 17. It is where she took that photo, the one of 3 grinning teenagers in a yellow speedboat, the image that changed her life. So those 3 teenagers are the characters in Every Summer After. Anyways, now Alice lives behind a lens. As a photographer, she's most comfortable on the sidelines, letting other people shine. Lately though, she's been itching for something more, and when her grandma falls and breaks her hip, Alice comes up with a plan for them both. Another summer in that magical place, Barry's Bay. But as soon as they settle in, their peace is disrupted by the roar of a familiar yellow boat and the man driving it. Charlie Florek was 19 when Alice took his photo from afar. Now he's all grown up, a shameless flirt who manages to make her grandma laugh, and Alice long to be 17 again, when life was simpler, when taking pictures was just for fun. Sun-slanted days and warm nights out on the lake with Charlie are a balm for Alice's soul. But when she looks up and sees his piercing green gaze directly on her, she begins to worry for her heart. Because Alice sees people. That's why she is so good at what she does. But she's never met someone who looks and sees her right back. Honestly, I cannot wait to read about this book and how Charlie has grown up. Because if you read Every Summer After, sometimes Charlie is just so freaking annoying that I just want to like tell him to be quiet and just leave. So I can't wait to read how his love story is gonna be in this book. Hopefully, like I said, I will be able to read this next summer. The next couple books, I'm also going to just talk about them at the same time, and these 2 books are by the same author, Yang Zi Chu. This one is The Ghost Bride and this one is The Night Tiger. And one of the main reasons why I decided to get this book is because the author actually came over to Henderson, to one of the libraries here, and spent an evening with anyone who came to talk about her book and just kind of her writing journey. And again, like I said, probably in some other videos, whenever I get to learn about how the writer write her book and why she wrote it, the books just feel more meaningful to me. So I decided to get this too because I really want to read about the story that she created. I'm pretty sure The Ghost Bride is a Netflix original series, and after I finish this book I definitely want to watch the series. And she was also very nice and she signed my books. This is the first one. She doodled a little, I don't know what that is. It looks like a bunny, but maybe not. And same with this one. I think it meant to be a tiger, but it looks like a cat, and I love that because obviously I have a cat. These two books are very interesting. I know that this one is about kind of like a traditional ritual that people do in Malaya, which I think is in Malaysia. Basically, in 1893, Li Lan, the daughter of a genteel but bankrupt Chinese family, has few prospects. But fate intervenes when she receives a proposal from the wealthy and powerful Lim family. They want her to become a ghost bride for the family's only son who died under mysterious circumstances. Rarely practiced, ghost marriages are often meant to placate a restless spirit. Such a union would guarantee Li Lan a comfortable home for the rest of her days, but at what cost? As she reluctantly considers the offer, Li Lan is unwillingly drawn into the shadowy parallel world of the Chinese afterlife with its ghosts, cities, and vengeful spirits. There, Li Lan must uncover the Lim's family darkest secrets and the truth about her own family before she's trapped in this ghostly world forever. It is just super interesting. It kind of reminds me of Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, as well as Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. I think that's what the author's name is. Because the characters in these books can somehow get tangled with the deceased world, you know, like the afterlife. So it was just very interesting topic to read about in a book. I cannot wait to read this one. This one, honestly, I have no idea what it's about. It's about Jilin, who is stuck as an apprentice dressmaker, moonlighting as a dance hall girl to help pay off her mother's mahjong debts. When one of her dance partners accidentally leaves behind a gruesome souvenir, Jilin plunges into a dark adventure. Chinese houseboy Ran also has a secret, a promise he made to find his dead master's severed finger and bury it with his body. Ran has 49 days or his master's soul will wander forever. As the day ticks by, a series of unexplained deaths wreck the district, along with whispers about men who turn into tigers. Jilin's and Ran's increasingly dangerous paths crisscross through lush plantations, hospital storage rooms, and ghostly dreamscapes. Dazzling and propulsive, the Night Tiger is the coming of age of a child and a young woman, each searching for their place in a society that would rather they stay invisible. I don't know why, but these two books are just super interesting. And if you're into that type of book, I feel like this would be considered as maybe historical fiction fantasy because they're set not in, you know, like contemporary time. This would be super interesting and probably a good read for you. The next book that I got is none other than Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I feel like because there's so much hype about the movie adaptation that is coming out, I want to say next year, I just felt like I want to read this book before the movie came out. The same way as The Housemaid, because it is coming out, the adaptation in December for The Housemaid. I just want to read the book first before I get to watch the movie. Same with this. And to be honest, I don't really read sci-fi books ever. I feel like this might be my first one, maybe. And honestly, I'm super excited. Like, the premise of the book is really interesting. If you've never heard of this book, which I feel like at this time is impossible, this is about Rylan, who is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now, he doesn't know that. He cannot even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but two corpses for company. His crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning. Rylan realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, he must puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And with that clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? I'm just super excited to read it. Hopefully I can digest this story because like I said, I've never really read any sci-fi books before, and this is probably gonna be my first one, and I hope that I get to read it before the movie comes out, whenever that is. Like I said, I want to say it's gonna be next year. This next book is another book series. I actually have never read anything from this author before, and I do have the first book for her other series, and this book is King of Rat by Anna Huang. Actually, I probably have two first book of her two other book series. I don't know why I just decided to buy this book, because I think the third book just came out sometime this year. I have seen them everywhere on my social media anytime I go on it, so I just feel like I want to start reading this series because people have talked and rave about the third book, so that means they all have read the first and second book. So I decided to get this. I'm not really sure if this is kind of like a billionaire romance. I think that's what it is, because the two characters in this book, the first one is Dante, who is a billionaire CEO. He thrives on control, both personally and professionally. He never planned to marry until the threat of a blackmail forces him to an engagement with a woman he barely knows. Vivian is a jewelry heiress and daughter of his newest enemy, the wife he never wanted and the weakness he never saw coming. It doesn't matter how beautiful or charming she is. Dante will do everything in his power to destroy the blackmail and their wedding. There's only one problem. Now that he has her, he cannot bring himself to let her go. I'm super excited to read it. Again, I don't think I've ever read any billionaire romance book before, and this is probably gonna be my first one, although I do have Lauren Asher's billionaire romance as well waiting for me whenever I'm ready. But I'm excited to read this book as well because I have never read anything from Anna Huang. Let me know in the comment below if you have read this, and if you have read any other Anna Huang book series, which one is your favorite, because I know I have Twisted Love, and I also have the Defenders or the Strikers, or one of those book series. So let me know in the comment below which one you think I should read first. The next one is the first book of a big series as well. I want to say there are 9 books total, but I think there should be 12 because it just makes sense. And it is the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. I think this is what it's called. It's the very first book. And the reason why I feel like there should be 12 books is because there are 12 Zodiacs out there. So I don't know why there's only 9. Maybe there are 12 total in the future. I'm not sure. Like I said, this is my first book, so I have no idea how like the book series is coming along. But let me know in the comment below if you guys know. A lot of people are saying that they do love this whole book series, but they don't love the first one because it has bully romance. And I want to ask the people who have read this book about that bully romance, what it means. Is it kind of like the Boys Over Flower bully romance where, you know, like the bullying is just because he likes her and he wants her attention and she's been rejecting him? Or is it like worse than that? So let me know in the comment if you guys know. Let me just read the back of the book because like I said, I have no idea what this book is all about or like what the whole book series is all about. I'm a Gemini, impulsive, curious, headstrong, a twin, heir to a throne I know nothing about, and it turns out I'm Fae. Oh, it is also fantasy, I guess. But of course there's a catch. All I have to do to claim my birthright is prove that I'm the most powerful supernatural in the whole of Solaria. And sure, technically that's true as I'm the daughter of the Savage King. But the bit they didn't put in the brochure was that every single Fae in this kingdom would claim my throne if they could. In this deadly academy, vampires bite weaker students in the corridors, the werewolf pack has orgies in the Wailing Wood at every full moon, and don't even get me started on the twisted ways the sirens use their powers on people's emotions, or how my sinfully tempting cardinal magic professor hosts detentions that leave people needing therapy. Classes are totally interesting if you manage to live through them. And that Gemini star sign I mentioned, it now determines my elemental magic and affects my destiny, so learning astrology is essential if I'm going to beat down my classmates, which is actively encouraged, by the way. My biggest problem is a dark hearted dragon shifter who has his eyes on my throne. He and his 3 psycho friends are determined to make my time here hell. All I've got to do is survive, but fate might have other ideas. Damn it, why couldn't I have gotten a letter to Hogwarts? I didn't know that this is actually also fantasy. It has like fae, vampires, werewolves, and dragons, I'm assuming. Dragon shifter, I don't know what that is. So I'm kind of excited to read it. It is a pretty thick book, and I usually like to get all of the books in the book series before I even start reading the first one because I'm insane like that. But because this book, again, is pretty thick, the series, like I said, has 9 books. There's no way I would be able to get all of the books. You know, what if I don't like the first book? And what if I don't want to continue it? So I'm just taking it one book at a time. But again, let me know in the comment below if you guys have read the books in this book series or if you complete them all, what your thoughts are, and convince me to read this book and to continue on with the series. Last but not least, I just came across this book randomly at a book off, and I'm pretty sure I got this book for $5. It is one of the book of the month books that was released December 2024, and it is Homesicking by Carissa Chen. I feel like I have kind of heard this book here and there. Not a lot of people actually are talking about this book, but because the author is, I believe, Asian American maybe, but I know she is Asian, I just decided to get it. And also when I read the synopsis of the book, it sounds interesting. A single choice can define an entire life. Hai Wen is buying bananas at a 99 Ranch Market in LA when he looks up and sees Suchi, his Suchi, for the first time in 60 years. To recently widowed Hai Wen, it feels like a second chance, but Suchi has only survived by refusing to look back. Suchi was 7 when she first met Hai Wen in their Shanghai neighborhood, drawn by the sound of his violin. Their childhood friendship blossomed into soul-deep love, but when Hai Wen secretly enlisted in the Nationalist Army in 1947 to save his brother from the draft, she was left with just his violin and a note, "Forgive me." Homesicking follows the separated lovers through 6 decades of Chinese history as war, famine, and opportunity take them separately to the song halls of Hong Kong, the military encampments of Taiwan, the bustling streets of New York, and sunny California, telling Hai Wen's story from the present to the past while tracing Suchi's from her childhood to the present, meeting in the crucible of their lives. Throughout, Hai Wen holds his memories close while Suchi forces herself to look only forward, neither losing sight of the home they hold in their hearts. Homesicking is a story of family, sacrifice, and loyalty, and of the power of love to endure beyond distance and beyond time. I honestly didn't know that this is a kind of like a love story. I don't know if it's a romance, but now I cannot wait to read this book. I'm not sure why the book is so thick. It is so thick. I don't know how many pages there are, but it is definitely around 400 something, close to 500. So I'm not sure when I'm gonna be able to read this book, but I'm kind of excited to read it and kind of reread the synopsis again and know that it is actually a love story. Hopefully it's one of those epic love story with like somewhat happy ending, but I know that the 2 main characters are probably in their 70s maybe? Yeah. 80s maybe, I don't know. It says 6 decades that they've been separated. Anyways, those are all of the books that I recently purchased in the last few weeks. Like I said, it's not all of them, but these are the ones that I am most excited to read because it is part of a book series that I've started that I want to continue, and also part of a book series that people have talked highly about, and I just feel left out that I don't have it. Let me know in the comment below if you have read any of these books and convince me which one I should read first, and hopefully I will be able to pick it up sometime soon.